Hello, this is Warhound from Black Rose Legions with episode, well, not episode, but video 2 of our tutorial series for the For Honor Discord, which is called For Honor Trials/Dojo. We'll have the link in the description below for you to join, and feel free to, watch the video as much as you want. So, as you can tell, we told you guys in the first video that we're going to be going over character specifics in this second video. First things first, we got to go over who is S tier and who works well in Dominion, especially in competitive Dominion. So I got my clan here again. I'm not going to name them all off. You guys know from the first video if you watched it. Alright, so first things first, S tier characters. Dominion series, tournaments, CVCs. It's changed recently, but it used to be the same for people for a very long time, same for characters for a very long time, but it changed recently. So, top 4 as of right now, or top 3 actually, are JJ, Shugo, and Zanhu. They are literally at the top of the leaderboard at all times, in terms of tier list and anything to do with combos, etc. Following them, which is still an S tier category, is Warlord, Glad, and I think that's it. Yeah, Warlord and Glad. I'm pretty positive, but
yeah, they're definitely on the lower end, but they're definitely
yeah. And then they drop off to A tier.
Yeah, Warlord's like high A tier at worst, at absolute worst.
Yeah. And so, today we're just going to go over each character's individual things of what they need to be doing with these characters, and which you should not be doing with these characters as well. Everybody's going to go in depth with their specific character. Some of us play the same thing, so we're not going to have every single one of us talk. But, oh yeah, Berserker is also very, he's definitely up there. It's just unofficial. Like he's, hasn't really been seen much in the competitive scene, but he works as of right now. We know that he works. And so, first things first, we're gonna go over the assassins, which are the squishiest of the bunch. And we got a few assassin mains here. One's gonna talk about his specific one. The first is gonna be Chris. He's gonna be going over Berserker. Then, once Chris is done, we'll follow up with Knight's Assassin gameplay as well. It's the same thing. So, Chris, whenever you're ready, you take the lead and nobody talk over him.
Alright.
Wait, before you start, like I said, if you do need to demonstrate, just tell one of them and let me know.
Okay, sure.
Alright.
So, starting off with Berserker. As you know, he's an assassin, one of the best assassins when it comes to finishing up the enemy quickly in Dominion, and he's squishy as every other assassins, and we know Reflex God sucks. I'm gonna go with the first topic here when it comes to perks that you wanna have with Berserker. I usually personally I run Galestorm. Since I'm a roamer, I wanna get to my teammates as quick as possible. After finishing an enemy, you wanna rotate to the next teammate available to help them in the ganking. The second perk that I'd like to go with is Devour for the health, to go against the fact of being squishy. The third perk that I like to go with is Headhunter, again just to increase my max health and just to last longer in fights. When it comes to feats, tier 1, I like to run Bounty Hunter, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. You want more health when you kill. Also, the tier 2 will be Executioner Despite. I guess that's the word. Correct me if I'm wrong. That one also it's for more health, especially when you have a quick execution. When you stack up this second tier feat with Devour, it's pretty much like when you kill someone, even if you had the least amount of HP, you have at least 50% of your health bar restored with a quick execution. So that's pretty good as an assassin to have, so you can kill, get a quick execution, and still last in a fight. And as tier 3, Fury, that's a must in my opinion, you need to have as Berserker, because that will help you a lot in some occasions where usually assassins are not the one chosen to go push a zone, but as Berserker, if you have your Fury, you can literally go solo and try to stall for your teammate to come join you, and Fury increases your speed, sprinting speed slightly, and then your defense and offense increase greatly. So that is really good to have. And as of the last feat, tier 4, my first pick personally is Fear itself, mainly directed to the team benefit, because everybody next to me will pretty much deal insane damage to the enemies if they're next to me, including myself. But if the circumstances or the situation asks me to have Pyroclast, that's another good one to have as well when it comes to the tier 4 feats. Going with the strength and weaknesses of Berserker. First of all, let's go with his strength. We know he has hyper armor. That's great for an assassin to have. He's one of those heroes that can kill really fast in Dominion or in any game mode, pretty much. If you're a good Berserker main and good in duels, that can be very useful in Dominion. Whenever you isolate someone, you can just kill them literally under 15 seconds if you know what you're doing, and you need to keep the pressure. You need to control the fight whenever you play with Zerg, and always keep that, always be the one directing the fight, because whenever the enemy stomps you and they direct the fight, it's kind of hard for you because again you got reflex guard and your HP pool just sucks. Another good strength that Berserker has, he's one of the best ledger, is that the word for people who ledge? I'll give an example. So Warren, just follow me. I would like Musha, Dimak, if you can just come near me. Berserker has the best deflect, I would say, of all assassins, because it is very versatile. Because you get a free guard break. So Dimak, I just want you to throw the top heavy at me. So that's how the deflect goes. I mean, if you watch this video, I'm pretty sure you should be familiar with how to deflect. You just dodge into the attack. So do it again. I get a free guard break, and from there, you just open the opponents to a variety of stuff. Like if you play in Temple Garden, for example, if I'm here, I get a free ledge if I deflect them. And with my teammates, if there's no ledge, you can just eat 3 heavies there. And that's just bad news for him. Also, his recovery it's not the best in the game, but it's very useful. Berserker can recover out of anything he whips, except for his light dodge attacks and his zone. So if I'm throwing a light, I can dodge out of it instantly, or a heavy. Or I can even throw a light into a dodge attack. It can be either left or forward. Also, another good thing to keep in mind, you can also cancel your heavies with a dodge. So let's say Dimak, come back again here. And also Gunner, just get closer if you can. Gunner here. Yeah. So let's say I punished him up with a guard break, and then I see that my enemy, let me just make sure I don't get ledge. I see that my enemy wants to attack me to interrupt me, so I can just heavy fence to a dodge to, avoid the attack. And whenever I get a guard break, my teammate can always get the heavy guaranteed when I'm dodging away from the Lawbringer. So that's something to keep in mind as his strength when it comes to team fight. And yeah, that's pretty much when it comes to his strength. He's great against S tier heroes. So let's say JJ. If there's a JJ on the other team and you play Berserker, you want to target the JJ. Like, because JJ has good, he's great when it comes to offense and out of lock attacks. So the unblockables. So whenever you see a JJ go to seafood pose or try to do an unblockable attack and switching targets, you just want to go and do your forward light attack, because that tracks the increase with the buff that he got recently. It just increases the range, and with the R2 it's even further. Like, I can just reach that far. And also Berserker is a great chaser from after the new rework that he got. So if, let's say, someone is running away from you and then you do this forward heavy attack and you still didn't catch them with the recovery that I mentioned earlier, you can keep on doing that attack, and they have, after the third one that you launch, the fourth one will catch them for sure. It is guaranteed, no matter how far, no matter how fast they are. If they dodge 3 of them, the fourth one will guarantee the hit. That's something to keep in mind. I've caught so many people like that in games, and that can be clutch sometimes. That's what I can think of when it comes to his strength in Dominion. He's a great babysitter, by the way. When it comes to guaranteeing your teammates' hits, he's a great babysitter. By babysitter, I mean when you're with a teammate and then you try to combo someone, he's great at keeping your enemy locked with his either zone or a light attack after his heavies. So that's a good thing that he has as strength. Weaknesses: number 1, reflex guard. That is just annoying for everybody who plays assassins, and I think that is self-explanatory, because the guard just expires and you gotta keep in mind where you're guarding and when to refresh. You can even try to buffer that, but as long as the enemy keep hitting you whenever that guard turns to black, you'll still get hit. Let's say 3 people are hitting you from the same side, no matter how much you try to buffer your input for the guard, you also get hit. Another thing as a weakness is his health. He doesn't have the greatest amount of health. All assassins squishy, and his hyper armor can come in as a weakness as well in Dominion, because the previous weakness, you know, the health. You don't want to trade too much in Dominion. You want to preserve your health. That's pretty much your diamond right there. Also, he's weak against shield heroes and people who can turtle. So if someone just blocks my lights, I'm pretty much done. So for example, Black Widow, if you can just come toward me, I want to show something. So just give your, yeah, she's blocking on that side, as you can see. If I throw a heavy, she blocks, but if I throw a light, I'm cancelled out, and any hero can just throw a light after, because I go into the negative frames and I lose my finish. So as a Berserker, you want to throw most of your heavies, more than your opener lights. And also when you try to trade, you gotta be careful with who you're trading against. And as of now, JJ is S tier for Dominion and is one of the most picked characters. One specific weakness with Berserker: if a JJ throws his opener heavy while you're trying to throw your heavy in the hyper armor, it will always cancel you, and they will have the frame advantage. That's just an example. Any other character with hyper armor can do that as well. Another weakness is Berserker is dodge happy when he tries to get away from fights with his recovery. So you gotta watch out for people trying to go break you out of it. So it's not always fun to back dodge or dodge away, because people with undodgeable attacks like Jeonhu as it's undodgeable zone that will always catch you. And that's all I can think of his weakness when it comes to the minion. Next topic will be the overview. We know Berserker has infinite chain. Heavies to light, and then you can go into 3 heavies into the unblockables. Another thing he has is his own stun locks the enemy, and you can guarantee a heavy from your teammates. And one good thing to keep in mind when it comes to feats, yeah, Widow just come here again. No, actually, not Widow, DMAC, since you're full HP. Just come towards me. When you stack when you stack Fury and Fear itself, it is a great tool. So, for example, here, when I throw one heavy into the unblockable, he's pretty much dead at this point. As you can see, it's 46 and 59 damage. That's for the top unblockable. Yeah, just kill him this one. And then Lawbringer can just come here quickly. Oh, actually, my feet just came down. But yeah, that's what you get for the top unblockable. For the side unblockable, it's a little bit more damage. It's at least 61 damage, and that's pretty good. And also, when you have your teammates around, you just one-shot someone. Anything else for this overview? Yeah, his dodge forward attack or his dodge attack are now enhanced. So, by that I mean, I'm gonna just come here so I can show an example. So I just want you to block my top attack. So just block top. So as Berserker now, he didn't have it before his last changes. When it does a forward dodge attack, he used to be blocked and then it cannot continue his chain. But now I can keep on the pressure, even with my side dodge attack. So just block your left side. So even with this one, I can still keep on going with my chain. So he has good pressure when it comes to that. Character weakness, I would say the only thing that Berserker does and no other character does is backward zone. He gets hyper armored after the first hit is thrown, and that's great to keep your enemy off because you can literally go into your chain after that with a light attack. And that was actually, I didn't do it properly. So here, and then you throw a light. If someone tries to bash you as they see you backward zone, you can just throw a light after. That's great as well to stall. And also, before Thursday comes, that was a great option select as well, but after Thursday, that's just deleted. Something to keep in mind. As Berserker. People with bashes, yeah, you need to watch out for those kind of heroes. So someone like Gladiator, Shugoki, Warlord, JJ, they will always try to bash you if you feint a heavy, and that's just really bad for you. That's a big weakness to remember. And in the last topic, I'll just go with one example. Let me see. What hero should I pick? Yeah, let me pick Musha again. So this might go real well or real wrong, but for the sake of it, it's just Berserker has good option selects with his heavy. So let's say that is for advanced players, and that is based on reads. So if you know that your opponent likes to throw a light attack, you can always input your heavy as if you were throwing the light attack, and then always input that with a dodge. So you throw a heavy into a dodge. If they throw a light attack, that will parry the light attack. If they throw a heavy, your dodge will catch it for a deflect. So DMAC, I just want you to just try to throw a heavy, yeah, on that side. Wait for me. Yeah, go now. usually, I mean, it's really hard to put off. That's why it's one of the advanced tech with Berserker. So pretty much you want to have this and it will cancel into a deflex. But right now, since it's not, it's easier when you're actually fighting someone with the flow of the fight. You will get it. But it's something that is great to use. And again, he has the best deflect in the game. And that should cover the overview of Berserker. So the way I play Berserker in Dominion in short is I just stay behind my heavies because I don't want to die quickly. I need to preserve my health. Target the threat on the enemy team and try to disable them with my forward light attack or forward dodge attack. And then if I can 1v1 a character, just go for it and never go head first in the big 3v3 or 4v4. And that's about it when it comes to Berserker. And Warren, I guess Knights should go ahead and talk about Glad.
Yep, click on this now.
Okay. Alright, so general overview, Gladiator is considered like the best probably ganker in the game in terms of the set. So that's why he's hunted. He also has one of the best openers, which is his dodge dash. And he's incredibly safe compared to other assassins. He can get out of stuff. Deflect is still really solid. And he has a 4 light chain combo that can also go into his other chains. So essentially, you want a Gladiator on your team because of this move right here. So anytime I skewer an opponent, it does, look at that, a bar and a half of bleed damage. And with the patches, they actually buffed it when they were using bubble attacks afterwards. No stab, it's a whiff, but like, let's say in a gank, you use that to guarantee other attacks for your teammates. So in a combo, let's combo with Zerg. We'll do it with Go. So if I skewer, he's gonna heavy. I toe stab, guarantees to it. Look at that. That's a Lumberger health. That's Lumberger health. Almost no revenge. And he's boosted. So that is just a little snippet of why Gladiator is one of the best heroes in the game, at least in terms of his gank ability. The perks that I run are Devour, obviously for health. Combine that with Bounty Hunter and the executions I have. Even my fastest execution heals almost my entire health bar, so that's definitely a must. And then I run endurance perks. I run Survival Instinct and the endurance perk. These are specific. You want to run these specifically on a hero like this because it's very feint hacky. You're going to be doing a lot of that. You're going to be feinting into Tosa, feinting this. Lots of feints. So you want to have as much stamina as possible. He doesn't use a lot. He has great stamina management. Great. I can do all of that and not run out of stamina. I mean, that's nuts. So he's got great stamina usage, and with the perks, it makes it even better. So, in terms of feats, it's kind of a toss-up between Haymaker, which is the second feat, and that would be where if I bashed him or toast him, he does extra damage. So then he does 9 damage. If I have Haymaker that does 15, and my bash does 5 or 6 damage. So it's not a bad feat, especially if you're the type that kind of plays like I do, where it's a bash and a toe stab. Like if you're feigning into those attacks a lot, it's going to be very, very helpful. But me personally, I run the other second feat, which is pretty much the one you want. Is parry damage reduction. So, alright, VMAC and Gunner, I want you to try and attack. So, VMAC, you throw just a left heavy. Alright, Gunner, now you hit me. Anything. Nope, I need to... Here, let me parry that. Let me parry that. Let's wait for the feet to come back. As soon as I parry him, just throw a regular heavy gunner. Do it again. Look at how much I only took 14 damage on side heavy, as opposed to when it runs out, Lawbringer does 24, and I reduce it by 10, and that's insane. That's my revenge gain up. Basically, that keeps me in the fight much, much longer. That's why I run that feat. If you're in a ganking situation, or you're just fighting for your life, that will save you, 100%. And because Chris is running his last feat for itself, I'm going to run Roar the Crowd. Roar the Crowd is good. Huge sprint buff. Now I'm spinning. He's already fast, so now I'm running around even faster. And you get a big attack. Now my regular raw heavy does 31 damage. That's from 24. That's a huge buff. It doesn't last long, but sometimes it's just a... And then, if you've never used this combo, Chris, pop your fourth. Look at that. That did 45 damage. Now with the buff, and if I run my fourth with that, it does, I think, 75 damage. I mean, it's something crazy. So combining feats is also a really important strategy as well. Fear itself, toe stabs left. It's only a couple of damage buff, but it's still good. So with that, Gladiator's pros, he has quite a few pros, and especially after that buff. His mix-up potential is fantastic, so I can go straight to a skewer, I can throw 2 lights into a skewer, I can throw 2 lights into a heavy, and feint, into another heavy, I can do a heavy, feint, I can bash, throw it, I can dash, skewer. If he's against a wall, I get a free dash and basically a free heavy if he doesn't block it. You cannot parry that attack, so you have to block it. D-Man, try and dodge attack me real quick. Super safe dodge attack. I bash him out. If he has hyper armor, I bash him out of it. Widow, try and throw a heavy at me. Just a regular heavy. If they have hyper armor, do it again. I'm not timing it right. Do it again. Again. Okay, not that. Parry dash with a free stun. And with the stun, you can still go into feints and all that, so it's pretty good. If you have hyper armor and you toe stab, it interrupts the toe stab. Obviously, I'm too stupid to do it. It does interrupt hyper armor attacks, so even if like Goki is fully charging heavy and you toe stab, it interrupts. It's often you can't throw it wrong. So, in general, that's Gladiator's pros. Like I said, it's got quite a few. His negatives are more... They're more akin to the negatives that all assassins share, but there's also the problem of you have to use mix-ups. If you're not mixing what you're trying to do, you get predictable, they will counterattack. Because say I'm really dodging, say I'm just dodge bashing over and over, just dodge bashing. All DMAC has to do is just dodge attack me at the right time. He just waits for me to dodge and then dodge attacks me. Yep, there it is. Like, if I'm not careful, you can be punished by characters with really good dodge attacks. The other weakness, and this is not a this is a weakness that Berserker does not have purposefully. This is what makes his weapons better than Gladiators. Gunner, pop Juggernaut. Throw top heavy and then throw anything else. Look at that. He just blows right through me. If you have a hyper armor attack, I get nothing. I essentially do no damage, and he just gets whatever he's throwing. Usually it's a head. You almost can't beef like certain characters. Highlander, Raider, anyone that has follow-up hyper armor, just don't even bother doing that. Just better safe to parry it. Just hyper armor absolutely counters that. So that is a pretty glaring weakness in that deflect. But again, it's counterbalanced by the fact that it's a really good ganking tool if you land it. So, if I land a regular skewer, I can deflect, and that could lead to a combo. And that gives almost no damage. So, I don't even have to necessarily go into a combo, I just have to counter yours, and then that sort of thing. And then the other thing it's sort of like Berserker, where his deflect allows him to ledge. So go ahead and throw another top heavy gunner. Alright, throw another top heavy gunner. Hit me. On deflect? Oh, dude, I did it too late. Sorry, folks. I could throw it in wall splat. Mix up. It's fantastic. It's a really good legend opportunity, and it walls on me. So that's a really good way to get into consistent mix-ups and always having pressure on your opponent. Other downsides, again, characters with dodge attacks, really good dodge attacks, can be tough to deal with. So, D-Mac, go ahead and dodge attack. I'm gonna try and dose that. See, he just dodges right through it. I have to sit and wait for him to do it. Oh, that was weird. And his recovery is really not great on it. I mean, it's not like a sword where if he whiffs, he can dodge immediately. You can, but it's not really. It's about twice as long. So, it's not always safe if you're fighting very dodge-heavy characters. You usually want to do it in a mix-up, so... But throw it again, and then, see, even then. Viewer... Yeah, you can just keep dodge attacking. And it works. So that's another that can be a pretty big weakness. It's still a good tool, but if they're expecting it, you can get punished pretty hard for it. Another weakness obviously is health, and that's exactly why I run the parry damage reduction, because that kind of negates that. But if you don't have that feat, you're running Haymaker, and you're getting ganked, it only takes 2 or 3 attacks for you to go down in reality. Especially with reflex cards, so. Honestly, other than that, he's probably the best roamer currently right now, other than probably James. So I'd say he's absolutely S tier for a reason. And yeah, I think if you're more interested in more of a 1v1 style ganking roaming, like how your playstyle is, Gladiator is absolutely nice. And a great pickup. So yeah, I don't know if they want to go heavies next, or if you were going to go vanguards.
I'll vanguard. We're gonna go probably into JJ next. Yep. Actually, we'll do Musha. We're gonna go to the heavies last. So Musha is up next.
Kill me real quick. Alright, well, for our Musha, well, for perks, there's only 2 options you can really run, because you have really, for first feat, you don't have much up there for Aramusha, so you just want Deadly, because you want to deal as much damage as possible. There's no way around that. You're a hybrid, you're also a beat clear and a roamer. You want as much damage as possible, you want to kill your opponent as quick as possible, as efficiently as possible. 2, personal opinion, Juggernaut. Because as a hybrid, you're always going to be stuck in a situation that you do not want to be in. So a 1v2, yes, it's going to happen. Juggernaut is one of those situations where you can pop it at half health. You know, it allows you to have that perspective of being a berserker. You got the hyper armor, you take less damage, and you're able to just continue on. Especially being near Musha, you have the ability to go into infinite chains. So you can go light to light, heavy, whatever. You can go light to heavy, anything. For third feet, you know, kind of, I just mixed those up, didn't I? That's my bad. But third feet, I personally feel fire arrow, best thing ever. You can help a teammate at long range, you can help a teammate close range. That, for me, that's a no-brainer. Fourth feet, gear itself. Arrow storm if you're on an open map, which we're not particularly on right now, so unless we're, you know, on point 8, so that doesn't really work. But gear itself, that helps the team, that helps you, that helps anybody. Perks, personally, I find Bastion, Last Stand, and Fresh Focus, that works the best. Last Stand, you can't go wrong. At critical health, 40% damage resistance. If you pop Juggernaut with that included, you get ridiculously low damage on opponent's enemies. Bastion helps if you're the one holding a zone down on your own, waiting for backup. Fresh Focus helps if you run out of stamina while you're doing all your feints, everything in between. Always beneficial. Another great perk is Vengeful Barrier. If you're in an anti-gank with Last Stand or Juggernaut on you, Vengeful Barrier gives you that optional shield when you come out of a bench, so you have a little more survivability when you are in that vulnerable state. Strengths for Aramusha, I would have to say, would be that you have the infinite combos. You can always go light, opposite light, top light, anything like that. Which, if somebody is not able to block consistently, you can get through them. It is kind of light spammy, but that's the payoff. You can get through somebody that doesn't know how to block. Another payoff is you have deadly feints, so if you go one side to the other, you can hit like that. So if somebody's expecting to parry you, or you're expecting them to parry you, or you see that they're very parry happy, well, you get through them. Another thing is, with dodge attacks, like Knight was saying, you can dodge attack, and you can go into a deadly feint. And I just screwed that entirely up. Boom. Sorry. And, well, that's an example of the external part. Musha does have exceptional externals, considering other heroes. You also have the Full Guard, Blade Lucky, which you can use to single target for more damage on the light by using the R1. Or you can do the R2 and on Full Guard hit opponents all around you. Your zone is very exceptional as well, because
Stop you there
everywhere.
real quick.
Okay.
This is for everyone. For future reference, it just say lighter, heavy, because PC and Xbox will be seeing this too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep. Alright, go ahead.
Fair enough. Well, like I was saying, your zone is very exceptional, considering you're going to be, as a hybrid, you're going to be in a lot of ganking situations. Anti-gank or ganking with teammates. One way or another, you're going to be in those scenarios. Zones, everyone expects the unblockable. Nobody goes for the parry. Throw them. That's the one thing. That's one of the strengths, is that everyone expects it, nobody expects you to actually go with it. the fainting of it is what opens you up. That's one of his major weaknesses. If you throw a zone, you're gonna faint it. Everyone knows that, hey, you're gonna go with something else. Biggest strength in terms of ganking or anti-ganking is I can come up, say, Knight, come up next to me. If I'm, like, say, Knight, you throw a heavy and I block you. I can go on to Triss, do this, target switch, and just guard break. It's not smooth, but it works. I can guard switch after ringing somebody's bell. It really works. If I'm locked onto somebody else, this is off topic, but yeah. Ringing the bell opens up anybody else for anything. Heavies, unblockables, chains, skewers, anything. Aramusha's ring the bell, top level ability. I can't really go further into Aramusha because from there on it's up to the player. It's carrying, lights, and deadly things. That is really it. Strengths, weaknesses, light spam, you got quick switches, you got deadly feints, and you got a bash that guarantees damage, and teammates combos.
Alright, so with JJ next, and I'll be demonstrating / speaking for that. First things first, he's JJ. Thick beard, nice beard, fluid character. You have to have somewhat of finesse to play this character. You can't just pick him up and, you know, think you're gonna win because you can dodge everything, because there's weaknesses, there's strengths. Just like everybody, yes, JJ is very strong now, since his buff. Still doesn't mean in high level play that you can just pick him up and do what you want. Because it doesn't work like that, trust me. I've tried. I've been there. First things first, perks specifically, if I was running in a competitive sense, and this is for Dominion series as well, we've seen Feline Agility used on JJ because he's a better roamer, so he can, you know, make him run faster. He'll be moving around faster. Vengeful Barrier will be another great one because he is very good at getting ganked. I'll go into that later. And the third one, it really depends on how your team's gonna play. If you want Rising Dawn, and that, you know, that gives people your team 75% health instead of half health. Feline Agility uses, you know, you gain 4% movement speed for the first renown level, and then 2% for each subsequent level. Vengeful Barrier, you get when exiting Revenge, gain a temporary 25% health shield, and Rising Dawn, revive allies to 75% health. Those are specifically what I use, what I would going to be using in tournament-based gameplay, because I want my JJ to be roaming around, but I also want to be able to handle situations if I get jumped. And not everything can be. You can't always have 3 perks either, so you gotta find which ones fit. Going on to his feats. This is completely for you can be a very selfish player if you want, but in terms of Dominion, in terms of competitive play, anything like that, you need to help your teammates. You need to cover your teammates' asses, literally. Like, not even, you know, I'm not trying to, literally you have to cover them. So, first feat run is against all odds. So, nearby allies deal more damage the more enemies are around. So, basically, you pop the feat, if there's 2 enemies around you, you and your teammates get more damage. So, the more the enemies are, the more damage that you are going to be buffed with once I pop this feat, and it's an area of effect feat too. So there's 2 of them standing, or actually 3 of them around in the circle. So we have a, I don't know exactly the number, but it's a 3 times buff because it's 3 of them. So yeah, that's a very good first feat. Really good at B. Whoever's B clearing, you run up there, pop the first feat, help them clear B, and kill the people on B if you need to. Moving on to second feat that like I said, the minion series, competitive play, inspire. Allies and yourself deal more damage, soldiers fight faster. This is really good at B, because the soldiers is a big factor. Like, used to, minions didn't really, they didn't really count for nothing. They didn't really, besides getting points. Now minions actually can kill you. They can interrupt your execution, interrupt combos sometimes, interrupt, movement. Even when you're trying to parry something, a minion hits you, it can slap you out of a parry. So if you have Inspire on inside the minions, your minions fight faster for you. Like, they swing 2 times faster than what they normally do. And it also allies and yourself deal more damage too. So it's basically the first feat, except it is an AoE effect that stays on you. It's not just a pop and it's gone. So this is, no matter what, if anybody's in this aura, we're dealing more damage. It doesn't stack for how many people are in it though. It's just the most damage that it gives. Like I said, this feat is really good to be run in at B, but sometimes, hell, in a group fight, trying to take a zone, you pop Inspire, you finish the people off because you deal more damage, and your teammates deal more damage. Very good feat. I recommend it. I run it on most of the heroes that are allowed to run it, like Raider and I forget who else can run it, but yeah, Raider's my prime example. Going on the third feat, Soothing Mist heals allies in an area of effect based on how many enemies are around. So, same thing as the first one. If there's multiple enemies around you, that means this area of effect will heal more based on how many people are around us. If there's just one enemy, like, for example, if it's just a Lawbringer, we're not going to get that much health back. If there's 3 of them, like that was, Knight just gained almost 2 bars of health. Literally. That's tremendous in a group fight, because all I have to do, back up a little bit, pop Healing Mist, and let my teammates continue attacking. So that is a very good, useful tool. Very good healing feat. And we all know healing feats have been nerfed really bad, but like I said, in a group fight, this is really good. It doesn't get the nerf that most healing feats have now. So like, if there's 3 of them, like I said, pop the healing feat. Give everyone, and this is like, the assassin just got almost 2 bars of health. That's a lot. And if I can give another heavy that much health, then we're probably gonna win that fight. Fourth and final feat that I would run, Phalanx. Grant a shield to all alive allies, including yourself. So this feat doesn't last very long, but it lasts long enough, and it gets really annoying, especially because it's a cross map. It's not like specific, characters like BP that give just normal, shields or whatever the case may be. Phalanx is really good. Centurion runs it too. Centurion has it as well. It just, like I said, it's a really good 4th feat, and it's a really good supportive 4th feat. So if I pop it, teammates are about to die on the zone, and we don't want them to capture that zone, I pop it, then head over there to the zone that they're about to die on and help them win the fight. And it lasts a pretty good while, and even in competitive play, I would prefer, and this is just me, call out when the shields are about to drop so your teammates can get out of the way in case, they're about to die because they don't have any more shields. So I'd be like, you got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and then they know that the shields are done in that last, second or whatever. And like Chris, for example, he's an assassin. He knows the shields are about to drop. He just uses his recovery, light backs up, or just gets away from there until I can show up. At least I gave him enough time for the shield to pop. You can run Fire Flask as well for JJ's other 4th, but the Phalanx is probably your best bet. His other specific 4th feat, all it does is a ring of like fireworks, and it takes your stamina away. It takes your teammates and your enemies' stamina away if they walk through it. And actually, no, it doesn't take enemy or teammates' stamina anymore. They changed that. That's it for his feats. So now we're going to go into the strengths and down and dirty with this character. He is kind of ridiculous. So, what I mean by ridiculous is the man has dodge frames. The man has more than just dodge attacks. He has a dodge frame with a dodge attack. He dodges, then you dodge attack, which gives you a second frame of dodge. And then after the dodge, you can Sifu, which is another dodge frame. I don't know the exact timing, I don't know the milliseconds exactly, but I know it's fast. It's really fast, and it's annoying. People hate it. Most of my clan that doesn't main JJ hate it. I know I'm looking at one right now that really hates JJ. That's the biggest thing in JJ. That's the biggest thing in any Wulin, to be honest, except Shaolin. Really? Shaolin doesn't have really good dodge frames. But we won't go into that. Yeah, his dodge frames are ridiculous. Let alone, another big strength is the dude's wide swings that he's got. I can hit multiple people, including teammates, whenever I want, basically. All I need to do, DMAC and Gunner, give me let you stand right in front of me, real quick. Gunner, you stand pretty much behind him. So all I really have to do, because of the wide sweeping attacks, you lock onto the person behind him. DMAC cannot parry that. Like there's nothing he can do except block that. There's literally nothing. He can dodge out of it too, but there's nothing that he can do to stop that. It's unblockable. He really can't do anything about it. Because it's not being swung at him. If he sees it coming, yes, he can dodge it. If he doesn't see it coming, it hits him. Now the person you're locked onto, of course, can still parry it, stuff like that. That is a big strength with JJ. I'm locking on the DMAC. I can dodge over here, hit Gunner with the dodge attack. Do the same thing. And just and he's also really good at swapping targets too. Make sure you know that, you know how to swap targets. He's got a dodge, heavy, into a light. It's a soft feint. Also, there's regular dodge attack. Does the same thing. Anything that he does, even his lights are out of lock tech. It's ridiculous. Most of his things, like his new buff, for example, he's got a Sifu unblockable, which is his zone. It's only his zone. You can only zone out of his Sifu, and it only comes from one side, but you can chain it into light, heavy, whatever the hell you want. Zone into heavy and feign it, stuff like that. He's got a dodge forward kick, guarantees a light for combo purposes. We'll go into that in our next video. Video 3, which would be, you know, we're going to show you guys how to combo with each individual character. But yeah, he has a dodge forward kick, light. He's also got a dodge forward heavy. So if Gunner try to back roll away, catches him every time. He's not getting away from me if I see him try to roll away. Even if he turns around and just turns tail, like literally just, he ain't going anywhere unless I want him to leave. That is a very good thing for JJ. I'm glad they added that to him because he did not have that kind of tracking before. Even they upgraded his tracking of just his heavies too. Wow, suicidal. Yeah, so they upgraded his tracking and everything. He literally has access to almost, like, I wouldn't say the most unblockables in the game, because that's another character named Zanhu, but he has the most devastating heavies in the game if you let them hit. And most of the time, if you're getting hit by JJ's heavy, it's not even locked on you, it's locked on your teammate. Like, literally it's locked on your teammate, and you can't do anything about it. Like, if you're in the middle of a fight, I tell Chris to guard break Aramusha so I can out of lock tech zone him, then that's That you have, there's literally nothing he can do about that. Even if he counter guard breaks. There's nothing he can do. He's eating 27 damage no matter what. But yeah, stuff like that. What's another good strength? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a second. Good strength, you got quick lights, lights chain, double light. If you really have to, spam light. Like, this is competitive play. Literally no one has room to say, oh, you're a light spammer. Guess what? You were killed by light spam. In competitive play, if you can't light parry, then that's on you, pal. Like, you need to have reaction time. You need to have, you know, the knowledge to know what character's light animation looks like at that point. Yeah, I've already went over that. Dodge property on Sifu as well. Like I said, not only does he have dodge properties on all three of the things that I just did right there, it's also Sifu dodge as well. You can use it as just a regular dodge, so Gunner, come here. Just throw a light or a heavy. Just dodge whatever he wants. You can try to long arm me, unblockables as well. Shove. Same thing. Use that to dodge, and you can use that in ganking situations. So we'll have the Aramusha and Gunner just throw, you know, heavies. You can start dodging, just throw. Well, if you don't get hit. Keep throwing. Well, yeah, like I said, if you don't get hit, you see my point though. The Sifu is really good for dodging, and it's really good for an extra dodge because you can feint into a Sifu. Also, yeah, we haven't gotten into unique aspects about him yet, but Sifu is also, it's a very good tool for dodge mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, that's character uniqueness, guys. I'm not on that part yet. Strengths still. Dude's got a shit ton of health. Depending on your perk build, you're gonna have even more health. Stuff like that. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay, I was talking about the health. Health, particularly, he's got some of the most health in the game besides Shugo. Shugo, BP, they have the same amount of health. I don't know what kind of health Lawbringer has, but I know it's not as much as a heavy. Once, let's see, what else did I go over? What else is a good strength for him? Like I said, he's very versatile. If you're fluid with him, you can combo into things that people will never expect. You also, another big strength, unblockable into guard break. It's a soft feint. He has soft feints. So any heavy unblockable can be in a guard break, and that guarantees JJ a top heavy. Now, it used to not guarantee him anything. Same with no, yeah, you can only soft feint, but his other soft feint is his dodge heavy into light. You just press light after dodging, and sometimes you don't let it go, and you know, get him with the heavy. Character weaknesses, he doesn't have a lot. Characters like BP is his weakness. If he can flip my out of lock tech, which that is what that is called when you lock onto someone that is not the target in front of you to hit the target in front of you. That is Autolock Tech. That's what we call it. We've always called it that ever since we figured out what it was. Another big weakness, the fact that you're dodging around a lot, you get guard broken out of a lot. Sifu is guard breakable because it's a down stance kind of move. So anybody with an all guard down stance, down whatever you want to call Sifu, it's Sifu. It is guard breakable. You can dodge out of Sifu, or not out of it, but you can dodge into Sifu, like I was explaining earlier. But yeah, his biggest thing is getting guard broken. Also, back to that strength. One of his biggest strengths is getting jumped. Like, JJ is probably the best character now to get jumped because of his buff. There used to be another character, we'll go over that in a minute, over here, I'm staring at him. Used to be the best character at getting jumped, but now JJ exists, and it is a problem. Yeah, also, another big weakness is if you don't know how to use JJ and flow with him the right way, and you just start trying to zone people, they're going to see it coming, especially if your ass goes in the Sifu stance, they're going to see that coming, because that is an unblockable now, and they know it's coming, because you're in Sifu. Now, you can feint people into, kick right out of Sifu if you want. It's not very fast sometimes, but it is doable. Another weakness. Like I said, the man doesn't have that many weaknesses because he's been buffed. He's really good in 1v1s now because of his buff. His buff, gave him the new kick animation that guarantees a light. Stuff like that. Yeah, he's got easy light. He's got easy lights. You can do anything you want really. Go into the character overview, which would be JJ is a roamer. He's a roaming heavy. He's faster than other sitting heavies. He runs faster than most sitting heavies. He's really good at clearing B. His B clear is ridiculous. His feats are supportive as hell. Like I give them buffs. I can literally spam all of my feats right now. We'll have so much damage, plus we just got healed, that you're not surviving if I land 2 attacks on you, and any other teammate lands anything on you. I guess all in all, JJ can combo with so many other characters. He's really good at support. He's really good. The only overview downsides that I would say, or downgrade, would be if you're on a JJ's team and he's getting ganked or he's fighting someone, don't get in his way. He's got Autolock Tech, and it can hit teammates all the time. It's going to hit teammates all the time. It's literally, that's the most annoying thing about him. It's not, you just don't get in JJ's way is what I'm basically explaining. Unless, of course, your teammates are specifically, alright, we need to kill this guy. Actually, no, JJ is not weak in 1v1s anymore because of his upgrade. His buffs. He's really good at ganking people. He's really good at getting ganked, and now he's really good at 1v1s because the whole thing that they changed about him. And go into character uniqueness. Now this is JJ, like I said, Sifu, stuff like that. Sifu in the zone. You can combo out of the zone too. 1 second. Also, big thing about Sifu stance, you're really low on stamina. Whatever the case may be. You use Sifu stance to build your stamina back up quicker than what you normally get it at. So, got really low stamina. Out of stamina, basically. You can still do this out of stamina too, and while out of stamina, you can dodge an attack as well. So, Gunner, I want you to throw an attack while I'm out of stamina. You can still use that as a dodge tool. Now, you're out of stamina first of all. you get guard broken out of stamina, you're going on the ground, which is going to be a lot of damage. That's the problem. That's the downside of Sifu, or dodging out of stamina. But it does give him stamina back, and it gives him his stamina will come back really quick if you're allowed to sit in your Sifu. You can even spam it at times because people are attacking so much. Gives you a little bit of stamina and then it stops. Another big unique thing about him is any parry punish. So if I parry anything, gonna attack, you hold the bash button and it guarantees a choke. This choke drains stamina. Now it used to be a lot better, but they had to nerf it because it drained too much stamina. And it also doesn't guarantee anything from JJ unless you wall them. It does not, so Gunner, just keep your guard to that way when I throw this attack, unless you get walled. It is not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed from this thing anymore, and it is confirmed. Even your teammates aren't guaranteed anything, and if it is, it's only minimal damage. Like it'll reduce your damage every time. So, throw an attack again. Chris is gonna throw a heavy right after the and how much damage was that, Chris? Chris?
That was 6 damage. Sorry, I was muted.
Yep, you're good. 6 damage. Now, used to be that would guarantee him a full damage attack. Now, like I said, the only thing that this thing guarantees now is draining their stamina and walling. If they wall them, I get a free heavy instead of my teammate. So, that's the biggest unique things about JJ. Keep in mind, keep in mind, like I said, be very weary of guard breaks. Like, their guard break spamming, quit dodging. Don't dodge. Just sit there. If they really like to guard break, like Lawbringers, the heavy feint to guard break all the time, don't dodge attack a Lawbringer. You're gonna get caught. Also keep in mind, JJ is a heavy still. He can be sitting on point if you need him to. So if one of my assassins are low on health at B, and I am also low on health, the assassin will probably need to go heal first, and if I can survive long enough, it'll be great. Then the sitting heavy will be the one to replace me at B, which we're fighting for B, and JJ is a heavy, so he's going to be sitting on the point and getting the same amount of renown that the sitting heavy was getting. But JJ is often used as a roaming heavy, and you should probably categorize him as that, because he's so unique in ganking situations, and getting ganked by JJ in a Dominion competitive style, you're gonna hate yourself, you're gonna hate your life, you're gonna hate the people you're fighting. Like, it's JJ. He does a really ridiculous amount of damage, and he's fast, and he's fluid. So everything like that, just keep in mind. His advanced tech would be his dodge recovery, you know, his recovery on heavy feint right into dodge. You can attack and feint and attack with Sifu instead of hard feinting or soft feinting. You can just Sifu right out of it. You can Sifu after landing an attack, which is very quick. You land anything, even if you don't hit them, you go right into Sifu. But he also has a range of a god, so he can, you know, jump across the map and hit somebody if I want to. Yeah, one more thing with JJ. If you're gonna pick him up, put some training into him. Don't, like I said in the beginning of this tutorial, don't think you can just play JJ, because he's not all that, especially against competitive players. Now I'm not saying you can go try him out in casual, yes, but you you try in competitive and play against it, use JJ the way you think you can use him, it's not gonna work. Like I said, I've tried it. And I had to put the time and the effort. But that is it for JJ. We got one last player to describe or instruct us with his newly founded A tier character. Drop down from S tier to A tier. Drummer, go ahead and take the floor.
Oh boy. Okay. So this is gonna be, kind of short explanation. There's really nothing too in-depth as everyone else's, because this character honestly is kind of simple with a slightly complex points to it. So, let's just start off with perks. Well, considering that if you're picking Black Prior, you're going to be sitting on zone 90% of the time, perks that I highly recommend that you run most of the time will be Bastion, Vengeful Barrier, and Last Stand, just for the sheer sake of survivability. Now, other than that, you can run perks that are more meant for roaming, like Feline Agility or anything like that. It is useful if you can do it, but again, with playing Black Prior, you're going to be sitting on zone 90% of the time. So, we got that out of the way. When it comes down to your feats, the main feats that you are going to be running with Black Prior 90% of the time as well is going to be his main starting feats. Why? Because it's honestly a no-brainer considering how useful they all are. First feat that you start off with is called Sinister Shield, basically meaning you can sacrifice some of your health to give any of your teammates a small little shield, just to help them out a bit. You see, like, they're getting jumped or something, or they have bleed on their health bar or anything like that, and you can just throw shields at them, negate that, help them out a little bit, maybe enough just so if someone else on the team can come help them out if they're getting jumped. Second feat that you'll be running is called Healing Ward. It allows you to use your Bulwark stance, your down stance on the character, to heal yourself. It is very useful whenever you're, let's say, you're low health, your teammates are still fighting, you get on zone, and you need to heal as much as possible so that you can hurry up, run back out of zone to help them out. Because, most of the healing in this game has been nerfed to the ground. Alright, third feat. You're going to be running this feat 99.99999% of the time. The feat is called Oathbreaker. It is a feat that removes all shields from a target, preventing any way of them gaining shields while it is on the target. It is an effect that lingers. It is a very powerful feat. It can immediately remove any shields regardless of what character they are playing or how they even gain the shields to begin with. Alright. Alright, of course this is going to be useful, let's say you're ganking someone messes up, gives them revenge, you can immediately get rid of their revenge shields depending on how fast you need that person dead. Very useful feat. Helps out quite a bit. Now when it comes down to your fourth feat, it is called Umbral Shelter, and it is a resettable shield. It's basically, as long as my teammates are near me, they can constantly get their shields reset for about 4 pulses. Very useful, keeps everyone alive, keeps you alive. To quite the, good degree, whatever. Now, we got that out of the way. This character's strengths. This character's strengths are quite simple. You have an opening bash, you have decently fast lights, decently good combos, overall in total. You have your standard opening bash light, decently fast lights. You have undodgeable on your heavies only after the first attack. You also have soft feints that you can do with your heavies to give yourself a longer range bash, just in case someone decides to be a little bit further away than regular. Now, what else do you have in terms of strength? Alright, so a little bit more advanced, you have this thing known as down stance, your bulwark stance. In this stance, you can block any attack from any direction. doesn't matter where they're coming from or anything. Now, of course, while in this stance, you have two ways of attacking and kind of counterattacking, depending type of thing. Alright, so while in this downward stance, I can throw it unblockable. You know, typical unblockable. You can throw it, you can cancel it, you can fake it out for whatever you feel like it. It's useful later on, but most of the time, you know, it's just kind of just there. The main thing that, in terms of strengths, that Blackprior has is their flip. Blackprior can flip literally any attack in the game. It does not matter if it is a bash, it doesn't matter if it has hyper armor, it doesn't matter if it's unblockable, it doesn't matter if it's a grab. As long as it's not a guard break, you can flip it. Honestly, just depending on you, your reaction times, how you play the game, how skilled you are with the character. Now, in terms of weaknesses, this character can be guard broke just about out of anything, and you will be guard broke now quite a bit, because people just don't like Blackpriors in the slightest. So you go into bulwark stance, they're just going to guard break you. If they think you're going to go into bulwark stance, they're going to guard break you. If you try and fake stuff into going to bulwark stance, you're going to get guard broken. It just doesn't matter. It's just what people tend to do. So of course, you know, need to realize that going into bulwark stance, albeit having quite the powerful counter being your flip, it is definitely not the almighty thing to do. It's not what you want to spam all the time. You still have other ways and other means of attacking without going into bulwark stance. Another weakness that this character has is anything involving stamina draining, meaning characters like, say, like Centurion or Yorm. This character's attacks eat way more stamina than what they probably should for the amount of damage that you're able to do. So let's say I decide to fight, let's say I'm fighting Gunner here, and I decide to go for just, you know, your regular typical combo, like undodgeable, unblockable. In that weird little thing that I just did there, I lost over half of my stamina just throwing 3 attacks. Now if I try to go for something a little bit more advanced, let's say shield bash, like go into bulwark stance, throw the unblockable, go for another shield bash, that's again well over half my stamina bar, and it's only for a very small amount of damage. So if I put this you have to be, so basically the way you have to play this character is, although you might want to be extremely aggressive and try and kill your opponents as fast as possible, you're going to have to be conservative and kind of slow playing in the way you want to, you know, do things. Just so you don't end up running out of stamina and then looking stupid while your teammates are wondering why you're dying on zone because you're again playing a heavy who is supposed to be zone holding 90% of the time. In terms of an overview, I guess, for this character, the main things that you're going to be doing. Now, here's the thing. With this character, the character only has 2 attack combo strengths. It cannot throw 3 attacks in a row unless you use your bulwark stance unblockable. So let's say, you know, Gunner is trying to just, you know, I don't know, Gunner's trying to defend against me, and I'm just he's blocking everything that I'm throwing, but, you know, just a regular fight. The only way to continue my combos normally is for me to go into the unblockable. That is the only way. Now, going into the unblockable is kinda tricky, because the moment you go into your down stance unblockable, you are now, how do I put this? You're negative in frames. Meaning anyone can just throw a light attack to knock you out of your unblockable. It's very easy, very annoying thing that people do just to get past Blackpriors. Everyone does it. Now, even though everyone may be able to do this, here's the thing. Instead of, this is kind of a weird advanced type of technique kind of thing. If you know where they're going to throw the attack from, you can cancel your unblockable and crush and counter them with your light attacks. Your light attacks count as a crush and counter. They are very powerful. They help you out with most things. Meaning, let's say someone decides to throw a 50-50. instead of just going for a parry like most people would normally do and getting guard broke if they decide to cancel it, or someone decides to throw whatever the 50-50 is. As long as it's not an unblockable, you can crush and counter it. So it's just a pretty easy way to get past people who tend to enjoy, 50-50ing you so that you aren't able to deal with most things. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna throw a heavy into a guard break. You just crush and counter him out of the heavy, and if he cancels it, he can't even guard break me because then again, I'm still going for the crush and counter. Very simple concept, typical stuff that you just need to know and learn about the character in the game. In terms of, I don't know, I guess the more simplistic stuff that you will see people do with Black Prior, most of the time they will most likely go for the light, shield bash light. This is basically the character's bread and butter. It's just that most people nowadays will parry your light attack if you decide to throw it. So be careful on how much you decide to use that. Remember, you have a soft feint heavy off of your you have a shield bash off of your regular heavy that gives you more range and still guarantees you a light. So if someone's expecting you to throw a light, you can just throw the heavy, still get the shield bash, and then go for the light attack afterwards. One other thing they can weirdly do about this weird character. Alright, so here's some other things that you just might need to know just about the character, simple stuff. You cannot go into bulwark stance off of any bash or any unblockable. Meaning if I throw shield bash at Gunner, I cannot go immediately into bulwark stance. I am open, I am wide open, and he can fight me, and he can do things against me. Meaning if he decides to dodge my shield bash, he can guarantee get a guard break if I decide to go into bulwark stance. Another thing is your top dodge attack. The attack you're going to be using against most people that try to roll away or run from you or anything like that. It cannot go into bulwark stance afterwards. Meaning if you throw it, you have to either throw a light behind it or a heavy. Now, since Black Prior is a 2-attack chain character that can only extend using his unblockable, you can either go into the undodgeable heavy, or you can go into cancel the undodgeable heavy into an unblockable. If you do it this way, you'll most likely be able to continue your combo chain, or catch most people off guard because most people will either go for the parry after the top dodge heavy, or they'll just dodge the top dodge heavy, and then you're just sitting there wide open looking like an idiot. What else does this character have in terms of weird things? Okay, this character can go into bulwark stance off of any regular attack. Meaning I can throw a light attack and I am immediately in my bulwark stance. If I throw a heavy, it is the exact same thing. Meaning instead of me going for the regular shield bash light, I can go light attack unblockable. Or I can go light attack undodgeable. Actually throw the undodgeable regardless if it gets blocked or not, and still go into bulwark stance for the unblockable. It doesn't matter if you're attack. The only way that you cannot go into bulwark stance off of an attack is if it gets outright blocked. If your attack goes through in any way, shape, or form, you can immediately go into bulwark stance. Another thing is, if you block an attack, you can go into bulwark stance, meaning you gotta throw a heavy into light. Well, throw it again. Alright, one more time. Meaning I can immediately punish anyone for continuing to throw combos, such as, let's say you're fighting against an Armusha that has revenge. Armushas in revenge, their light attacks can constantly go through. Meaning, let's say I'm fighting DMAC, he has revenge, he can endlessly throw attacks against me. There is no stopping him, there's nothing I can do besides going into bulwark stance and flipping him for it. Another thing is, what else can this character do? Jesus Christ. Okay, I guess I'll just explain what your main goal is as playing Black Prior. When it comes down to Black Prior, like I said before at the beginning of this, you're mainly going to be sitting on zones and surviving. The second thing you're going to be doing is stopping all externals, meaning, like how Warhound was explaining, if he decides to lock onto my teammate that's standing behind me and decide to throw an attack, I can flip him for that attack. This works for any character in the entire game. So, the objective of a Black Prior is to be a disabler. Pretty much disable anyone from doing anything that involves not fighting who is directly in front of them. This is especially a character that counters stuff like, like say a Raider or Jang Jun or anything like that of the sorts. Any characters with wide range attacks get immediately countered by Black Prior, whereas Black Prior can basically not be countered by any of these characters that have wide range attacks. The only true counter to a Black Prior is, well, another Black Prior and, Yorm, because of the stamina drain of the character. But now the reason why I said Black Prior is, let's say Gunner decides to throw a heavy at me and I flip him for it. The second half of the flip after he's already on the ground counts as an attack, which can be flipped by another Black Prior, meaning if you say you're in a gank, 4v4 situation, you have your June going for a external. You flip that June, then the enemy Black Prior runs up to you and flips you for flipping their June. This is the only real way to counter Black Prior. It's kind of annoying. Typical stuff, it's just dealing with Black Prior. What else can I explain about this weird character that's in this game?
I pretty much sound like it's it. At least for Dominion playing competitive.
Yeah, that really is it when it comes down to Dominion playing competitive. When it comes down to duels, it's just, you're just trying to read as much as you possibly can while playing a slower game against the opponent that's in front of you.
Alright, that looks like it does it for our character picks of the evening. We'll probably have a few more videos to be linked to this video as well for other characters that are in the S tier list. Other than that, this is our second video of the training series that we're creating for the Discord For Honor training dojo. So that, like I said, the link for that will be in the description below. Pinned comment wherever we're gonna put it, you'll see it. So hopefully you guys got a little bit out of this today, and we'll see you for the next video in our series. Alright.